Hey guys, I'm just picking up on the part two on the externalities for microeconomics. We are now going to be doing negative externalities. So if you had any trouble with positive externalities, just know that negative externalities are the same idea, but instead of a benefit, it's going to be a cost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a complete rundown on the negative externality, which hopefully will help you with positive externalities. Okay? So remember, externalities are either a spillover benefit or a spillover cost to society. So a negative externality would be a spillover cost. So a negative externality is your decision, so your consumption or production has negative effect on others, such as pollution, burning coal, or even loud music in a quiet neighborhood. Okay? Anything where you are causing a negative effect on others is a negative externality because remember, you are having spillover costs. Okay, you are, for instance, you are having your cost to having the loud music, right? Maybe you had to buy the speaker for the party. Okay, so that's your cost. And then because of that, you're causing more cost for the music. And that extra cost you have is the spillover cost, which would be the negative externality. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, in order to do pollution, right, you need to actually make production, all right? And to make something, that's going to cost you money. So that would be your MPC or your marginal private cost. Okay. And then because you're having the cost to other people, right? Your decision is having a negative effect on others by you playing loud music, right? That costs you money and is costing your neighbors something, right? Your neighbors don't like it, so it's a negative effect on others. When this happens, you're going to be adding the marginal external cost. Okay, marginal external cost. Now, when you add these together, when you add you and others together, guess what you get? The society. So you get the marginal social cost. Okay, so that's what we're doing here with a negative externality is that you have an extra cost to society. Okay, so then the next thing becomes, what does this look like on a graph? Okay, that's a good question. So just like a positive externality, you're going to be having the price and quantity. You will be having your marginal private benefits and your marginal private cost. Now, let's say it's pollution. Okay, so the pollution means that you need to basically make cars. Okay, but when you make cars and you drive cars, you are creating pollution. Okay, so it To make the car, right, you have a cost, and then when you create pollution, that's the externality, so the marginal external cost. So what we're going to do here is the MPC plus the MEC, the external cost, and that would be your marginal social cost. Okay, your marginal social cost is equal to your MPC plus your MEC. Okay, now this is your market price and your market quantity. Remember, your market, they do PM and QM because that's what the private benefit in the private cost is. But your society, right, your social optimal happens wherever your MSC is equal to your MSB. Now, did we make any mention of benefits that happen here? No, right? So your marginal external benefits here is zero, right? So there's no extra benefit for the cars. So therefore, your MPP, your marginal private benefit, plus zero, because your external benefit is zero, is equal to your marginal social benefit. Okay? So therefore, we're going to do marginal social benefit equals marginal private cost. So your social, that happens right here. So this is your social price, and this is your social quantity. Okay? So as you can see here, which one's higher, the market or the social optimal? The market produces more quantity. The market quantity is more than the social quantity. This is what we call an over allocation. What we mean by an over allocation of resources is that you are producing too much. Okay? So, if you're producing too much, okay, and what do you want to happen to price? You want to reduce quantity and increase the price. So, what should the government do to decrease quantity, increase price? You need a tax. So, the government's going to put a tax. Now, where do they put the tax? Right? So, they're going to set the tax equal to the marginal external cost and then creates marginal social cost equals marginal social benefit. Okay? So that is how a negative externality works. Your tax per unit would be equal to your marginal external cost if you have a negative externality. So that would be the graph for a negative externality. You will be having your marginal private benefits equals your marginal social benefits. You will have a marginal private cost plus your external cost, which gives you the marginal social cost. You will now be doing the social optimal, which is MSC equals MSB. And so that would happen at the blue dot. And at the blue dot, that's your new price and quantity. So as you can see here, your market is currently over allocating. You're making too much production and you need to make less. How can you make less? The government puts a tax on the market, and the tax is a per unit tax. Per unit because you need, for every quantity, you're going to need a tax. and that's going to be equal to the marginal external cost. Okay? The final point I want to make on externalities is that a economist named Pagovian came up with this idea about externalities, about how when you're consuming something, you are causing something external. And so he came up with the idea of externalities and why you need taxes and subsidies. So anytime you see a Pagovian tax, just know that this is a tax on negative externalities. Okay, and then obviously whenever you see a Pagovian subsidy, you should be thinking of a subsidy on positive externalities. Okay, in the next video, I will be going over some practice questions just so you can get an idea on what they're looking for on the exam. Okay, all right, I look forward to seeing you there. If you had any questions on negative externalities, please leave a comment below. I'd be happy to help you out in any way I can. If you have any ideas for future videos, feel free to let me know. I'll see if I can help you out there as well. Okay? All right. I really appreciate it. You have a good day.